There's a great many people in the world today that believe that relationships are difficult, that finding the right partner is difficult, and that maintaining relationships is even more difficult. And I would say that probably by far the majority of the people believe that that's true. But there are a lot of people today who are discovering that there is a new way, a different way that we can be in our relationships and experience a lot more satisfaction and a lot more connection and more intimacy. And those people are people who I believe are following a type of relationship with a particular intention. And that type of relationship is one that I call a spiritually based relationship, a transformational relationship, or an evolutionary relationship. And the whole idea behind this type of relationship is one wherein the relationship itself becomes a vehicle for us to evolve ourselves spiritually, to come to the highest realization of who we are and what our purpose is in life. And the relationship is actually the perfect vehicle for that. My name is Darell Lokahi Wilson. I live in Hawaii. And the reason why I became involved with this sort of information and this kind of research and this kind of work, where I work with people doing things that involve helping them to understand and see things a little bit differently so that they can enjoy their relationships much more, and to create out of this a much deeper and intimate relationship. And of course, it comes from a place of pain. It comes from a place of having discovered that I was doing lots of things very wrong, and I was experiencing a tremendous amount of pain. And I realized that relationships do not have to be painful. What happens that causes relationships to be painful is something within us. And when we are experiencing pain, it's not the love that is causing us pain. It's our illusions and delusions about what love is, and it's our illusions and delusions about who we are and what's really important. Let's say, for instance, you've lost your keys. You ask your partner, "Honey, please help me find my keys. Do you know where my keys are? Where are my keys?" You're getting very impatient. You're getting all upset. Your emotions are starting to take over. And in that moment when that happens, you're starting to think, you're starting to feel frustrated. And when you give a voice to that frustration, sometimes it comes out as, "You never help me when I need your help." But the reality is whenever we use the words like never, and whenever we put a person in a box and we put a label on that box like, "You don't want to help me," or "You're not helping me," or "You don't care about helping me," that creates a negative energy. And out of that negative energy, we're not joining ourselves together. We're not bringing ourselves together. We're not creating what we really want in the relationship, which is connection and intimacy. So we have to be aware of how we're doing that. We have to be aware of what the result of that is, and stop ourselves and say, take a deep breath and say, "This isn't what I want to create with my partner. My partner does want to help me. I just need to approach this in a way that they can feel appreciated, so that they do want to help me in this moment right now where I want to create more connection." Use the relationship itself as a vehicle to help us to transform the way we think and transform the way we live our lives. It helps us to become more aware of what's really happening in our mind, and how through the ways that we perceive things, through the ways that we react to things, we're actually creating our reality. We're becoming what some people call the architects of our reality. And nowhere is this more evident than it is in our primary intimate relationship. And in this relationship, we often find that things come up, and emotions and things that we don't always like, things that don't always feel good, cause us to get into a place where we're not feeling like we're really enjoying and appreciating the relationship the way we could or should. And there is a way to find this place of balance where we no longer are trapped, or no longer feeling trapped. We're no longer feeling as though we are not able to relate in the way that we want to relate with our partners. And that takes consciousness. And for that to happen, we have to be aware of some of the things that we're doing unconsciously and change the way that happens. We have to become aware of how that when we're thinking, quite often those thoughts can be coming from a place that's what we call the PMSing mind, which is your programs, your memories, and your stories. Now, everybody has memories, and we use those memories, and one of the functions of the mind is to take those memories and to identify some significance for them so that we can use that information in the future. So those memories and those programs, which are the ideas that we develop around the significance of what those relationships or what those events mean, become programs or beliefs. And those things can keep us from really experiencing the kind of intimacy and the kind of connection that we want in a relationship if we just let it run amok. And what we need to do is be able to identify when this is happening and to be able to switch gears and to be able to say, is there another way of seeing what's happening here that's more conscious, that's more in line with what I want to create, and that's bringing us together rather than pulling us apart. And so that's what I call bringing consciousness into the marriage, bringing consciousness into the relationship, and using that awareness to bring us to a place where we can create what we really want. Now, one of the methods that we do that is by what we call the TIE, or tie. And that's by using our time, using our intentions, and using our energy to make the kind of energy and to make the kind of conscious choices that we want to create in the relationship. And it's something that needs to be done on a daily basis, using our energy and taking that moment to say what we really appreciate about our partner and what we really want to experience through that connection with our partner. And when we do that, we find that things do shift and things do change, and we do experience our partners in more beautiful and more intimate ways, which is ultimately much more satisfying.